We are live. Wow. Welcome to Story Strategy Live, late night edition. This is Nancy and Dawn, and we are here to celebrate our 50th, I almost said anniversary, and that's not really accurate.
And our 50th show.
50th episode of Strategy Live.
Late night edition, considering it's 8 o'clock here, makes us sound really old.
We are really old.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
So
it's our 50th show.
When I hit the live button, Dawn, and I yelled, "We are live!" I was like, "Why did I do that?"
Well, I was trying not to laugh because,
Well, because leading up to us actually hitting the go live button, because we're going later than usual, there's a bit of activity here at the Nancy household. Both of my boys and my husband all decided to congregate in front of my desk because in this rental house, my desk is in the middle of the front living room. And they thought they should hang out here, open a bunch of boxes, yell at each other a lot, talk about donut holes, sling insults at Dawn. It was good times.
Dawn can hold her own with the insults, though, so that's not a problem. But
this is true.
Yeah. And hi, Kate, and hi, Brooke. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, guys. We have fun planned.
We do have fun planned.
And we have beverages.
Yes. Cheers. Wait, there we go.
Cheers. So today I got a Facebook memory that we had done an episode exactly a year ago today, and it was our 8th episode. It was the one where we talked to Mindy Klasky about tropes.
Oh, nice.
So we've kind of come full circle because we talked about tropes last week. So I don't know.
See,
it felt
that was totally planned. That wasn't a scheduling confusion at all. I was trying to go for the year thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Hi, Amanda.
Hello.
So yes, this is our 50th episode, and if you don't normally say hi to us, we want you to please say hi at least once in the comments so we know people are here.
Also, because there are prizes.
There are prizes. And if you say hi in the comments, show us the prize.
There's a lot of light because I have this stupid ring light, but it says Evident Ink. It's got our logo on it, and it's this cool little cup with, the little lid and yeah.
And also, if you say hi in the comments, and we're going to leave this until Monday so the people who don't get to visit with us live have a chance to say hi too. If you say hi in the comments, you will be put into a drawing for a free class on Teachable from us.
Yes.
Not just any free class, from one of our
any
free
class you want to take on Teachable? No. Any Evident Ink class you want to take on Teachable. So your options include Plotting a Romance, Story Fuel, which is tension, stakes, conflict. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Deep POV, which I recommend literally all the time. And don't we have 4 full classes, or do we just have the 3?
I think we just have 3. We have 3 right now.
The hooking class is coming, I promise. It's just life has been a little.
Well, and we'll just do a coupon code. You don't have to use it on one of those 3. You can use it on an upcoming class as well.
True.
So it'll be good. And Terry stopped by and said, "Happy 50th, Evident Ink. Evident Ink has become a trope for excellence. Congrats to you both." Cute. He is so sweet. Terry is an amazing ego booster. You just, anytime you're feeling down about yourself, just talk to him for 5 minutes, and he's awesome.
There are certain people like that in the world. I am not one of those people. I think people call me when they're already feeling good because I have a really bad habit of sticking my foot in my mouth and saying things that they're like, "What?" I don't mean anything by it. I'm a very nice person.
Nancy is very nice. I can attest to that. So but you're going to want to say hi in the comments so you can be put in the drawing.
Yes. Amanda says she loved the Deep POV class, highly recommends. What's funny is I didn't realize how much I needed that class until I took it. And I got to take it before it actually launched because anyway, but because you don't even think, like, you're writing and you're telling a story, you don't even think about how intrinsic to reading a story it is to be able to see through someone else's lens and to be able to step behind the character and not just see their actions, but really understand what's motivating them and what they're doing and why. And that class is all about that.
That was the goal. So I'm glad that people enjoy it. I'm glad that everybody's learning from it. That makes my little teacher heart happy.
Good. Well, it should. All right.
And we are going to have questions and answers. So
trivia.
Yes, we have trivia, and then we have an Ask Us Anything section of if you have questions about editing, if you have questions about writing, if you have questions about Dawn and Nancy,
life in general.
Yeah, we can solve all the world's problems.
Well, maybe not solve them, but we can weigh in at least. We have opinions.
We have opinions. We have lots of opinions.
Jennifer agrees with something. Yes, that we have opinions, that we can solve the world's problems.
Was Kate saying that the DPOV class was awesome?
Oh, probably, yes.
But Jennifer does know me, like, personally. Like, she used to live less than a mile from me. So I know that she also knows I have plenty of opinions, too. So she could be agreeing with either one of them.
It's not a bad thing. If you've ever spent a lot of time with somebody who refuses to, like, put a stake in the ground, oh, no, oh, that's, yeah, sure. Like, that's not fun. No. Have an opinion.
Yes, and stick to it.
What earrings do you have on today, Dawn? They look like tiny little books.
They're typewriters.
And
one says chapter 1. One side says chapter 1. I can't see them because I don't have my glasses on. But one side says chapter 1 and one side says the end.
Oh, very nice.
And those were a Christmas present from my husband.
They're very thematic.
Yes. I love them. I wear them all the time. They make me very happy.
So do you have a funny story for us tonight?
Am
I putting you on the spot a little bit?
Well, and for some reason my iTunes just kicked on and we're all in this together from High School Musical is now playing in my ears. So, okay, there we go. Yeah. I used to, here's your funny story. I used to do the videos for the theater that my daughter is in. And so at the end of the year, they'd have an end of the year video and I took all the pictures. And so I would put together like a montage. And so the only thing I have in my iTunes library is like random musical movie songs or like the real fun, upbeat, hey, this is you're moving on with your life type songs.
Yeah.
And for some reason, when I touch my earbuds, it automatically kicks off iTunes and I can't figure out how to turn that off. And so randomly I start hearing Wildcats in my head. And then I'm like, oh no, that has to stop. We have to make that stop.
We have...
go ahead. I do have a fun story, but go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say my phone also has like a bunch of random music on it. I think because I at one point downloaded a lot of workout music. So it's like songs I wouldn't normally listen to, but they had the right cadence or whatever for running so I have all this music that like some of it I know, some of it I don't. But the first song I think alphabetically is this song called Ass Back Home who's it by? Now Gym Class Heroes. And so anytime, like, you know how if you plug your phone into the car and the Bluetooth is on, it'll just like start playing music. It always defaults to this song. And so my kids will see on the like printout the screen, Ass Back Home. And they know all the words to like the first 3, lines because that's how much plays always before. I'm like, oh my God, turn this off. So now they'll like put my phone in and search for it and be like, let's listen to Ass Back Home. It's not a bad song.
I had a similar experience because one of our clients recommended a podcast called My Dad Wrote a Porno.
Was it me? Because I have listened to like 3 seasons of that and I used to recommend it to everybody.
It might have been you. I thought it was one of the clients. So, and so I was listening to the first episode of it. Now, for those of you who don't know what this is about, it is so a guy whose dad is like in his 60s or something. And he wrote an erotic romance. And so the podcast is the guy reading parts of the erotic romance, which first of all, that's a little weird because that's your dad.
But the best part is the accents.
Yes, because they're English. Are they English?
Very British. Yes.
Yes. And so he reads parts of it to his friends, and his friends kind of respond. And so I was listening to it on the treadmill because I'm on my treadmill and I'm going and I'm listening to it, and I didn't get done with it. So I paused it, went about my day, and my son comes home, and this was before the pandemic. And so he comes home from school, and it was like, oh, you want to run to the grocery store with me? And he's like, sure. So we get in the truck, and my phone sinks. And it's this very English dude reading parts of erotic romance, and I almost killed both of us trying to turn it off.
Well, and it's not like good erotic romance.
No.
It's like a 60-year-old man wrote this erotic romance. That's why it's so funny.
An English man who might have never met a woman. I'm not really sure.
It gets really bad by like season 3. You don't care anymore, but it's so funny at first.
Well, it wasn't very funny with my 16-year-old son in the car. I will just say we almost died in the alley. I almost took out like a family of 4 trying to hit the stop button. And then he went, so in Spanish class today, I mean, it was like, we were just going to pretend like that never happened. I didn't hear anything. We are not going to address anything. We're just going to talk about Spanish class.
Moving on.
God, yes.
Oh my God.
The other thing I was going to share with you is
yes, Jenny, he probably did know at least one woman. Well, and what's funny about his son reading his erotic words is that he's like, this is my dad. Like, did he talk to my mom about this stuff? Like, it's very awkward. It's perfectly wonderful.
Yes. So, the other thing I was going to share with you
hi, Jenny.
is that
I'm happy to see you.
Oh, yes. Hi, Jenny. So it's springtime in Texas.
It's springtime in most of North America. But,
right. Okay. Yes. But springtime in Texas equals tornadoes.
Oh, fun.
Isn't it though? So, last night I was on one of my brainstorming calls with one of our clients, who is a completely different time zone. So it was like about 8 or 9 o'clock at night here. And it starts like our tornado sirens are going off. Oh. There's hail, like Armageddon hit. And so in the middle of this conversation, I had to be like, can you hold on 1 minute?
I'm going to go get in the bathtub.
Right. I was like, I'm just going to go, being a true Texan, I'm going to go look out the front door and see what is going on.
What if it's coming from behind you?
Well, I wasn't looking for the tornado because, for one thing, it was dark. I wasn't going to be able to see it either way.
I wasn't sure living in tornado country, that it would come at night.
Yeah, well, I wasn't sure that was what I was hearing. And so I had to, like, in the middle of my call, run out and be like, oh, yeah, that's definitely the sirens. And then run into the living room to my husband and be like, hey, I'm on the phone, but I think the tornado sirens are going off. So why don't you check on that?
At what point do they turn those sirens on? Like when someone has spotted one and its impact on your house is imminent, or like it's in your town, or like when?
When there is rotation. If
just in general, up above?
Yes. And so we found out today that they actually went off because of the hail, that there wasn't rotation. It wasn't anything like that. That it was, they were having like tennis ball size hail that was going through windshields, like a couple of miles from us. And so, so that was my excitement for last night. And I'm also trying to still, conduct this call. And I have friends texting me that are like, according to our local news guy, like, it's on your street. Like, they named your street. I'm like, so that was our excitement for last night.
That is exciting. I don't like that kind of excitement. I like a little thunder here and there. That's about all I want. When we lived in Maryland, we got the tornado sirens now and then. And there was one day where I was driving down like the main sort of thoroughfare. And the tornado, like the storm was like clearly descending on us, and the sirens were going. And like the guys, I was listening to the radio as I'm driving, and like I drive by a Checkers and they have those, or maybe it was a Sonic. They have the big like umbrellas out front. One of them like detached from the ground and blew across the street as I'm driving. And I was like, oh my God, this is like the Wizard of Oz. It was, that's more than
your
I
sign
want.
it's
and that
time
day,
to pull over.
well, where will I go? Like, is it safer to be moving or sitting still? I don't know. I'm not from here.
No, you cannot outrun a tornado. You get out of the car and you go into the nearest building.
And I'm just a random person standing on the street. My car's better than me being out in the middle of it.
No, you go into the building.
Well, so I was going to pick up my kiddo from daycare, and I was worried about him and the school, and so I just kept driving to get there. And when I got there, it was all over. There was a tornado. It did touch down in some farm and like wrecked a barn and then went away. But my little guy was like, we took a bath. And I was like, what? And the teacher was like, we didn't take a bath. We all got in the bathtub. I'm like, oh, because of that. She's like, yes. I was like, oh. Yes. She was like, yes. I knew this was going to be a problem.
I knew they were going to be all confused.
Yeah, it was like
have, on more than one occasion, been crammed into the very small guest bathroom with me, two teenagers, a 95-pound dog, and a bird, because my daughter is very, very attached to her bird. I think the bird gets the opportunity to be wild and free if a tornado hits our house.
Did she take the bird with her to school when she went? She's not that attached to the bird.
No, she couldn't take the bird to her school. It couldn't take it with her. She would have if they'd allowed it, but they didn't allow it. We checked.
Because birds carry all kinds of diseases. Is that why she wasn't allowed to take it?
I think it's because they're really, really loud.
There's that too.
Really loud all the time.
And obnoxious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
yes. Anyway.
Okay. So do we want to do our trivia?
Yes.
We have trivia. I'm excited.
So we have a prize for whoever gets the most correct, or maybe the top two, should we say? Because I have a lot of these, if you want one.
So top 2, 3, we'll just see. We'll see how it goes.
There are no rules. We'll just play it by ear. It's like writing romance. No real rules. You just
yes. Just go all willy-nilly.
Right.
So this is Dawn or Nancy trivia, or Nancy or Dawn trivia. So we will ask a question, and you have to be present to win because we're going to give the answers. So you have to comment to win. But we will ask a question, and then you are going to put in the comments if you think that is Dawn or Nancy.
And we'll allow a little time because I think there's a delay. So we'll tell ridiculous, pointless stories in the meantime or something. We're good at that.
So off-brand for us.
Wow.
Especially since
things nobody cares about.
One of these.
All right. Well, so first question. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. It's either Dawn or me. That's your hint. Who hates it in stories when people run into each other? Is it Dawn or is it Nancy? These are the kinds of high tension questions that you're going to be getting tonight.
I feel like we should have keyed up the Jeopardy music or something, because I didn't think about there being a delay. I know I cannot.
Oh,
I cannot.
Okay. Well, I could play our theme music again. That's all I've got.
We'll listen to that 12 times tonight.
And then whenever it's playing, Dawn and I dance in the background. You can't see us, but we're both
y'all can't see that, but there's a lot of head bobbing going on. And I always have to tell Penny that everything is okay, because for some reason the music annoys her.
Hearing the music? Oh.
Yeah,
I don't know how
she can hear it. I do, but she hears things. I mean, she's a dog. I think they have good hearing.
I don't think my dog has good hearing. I don't know. My dog is not skilled in the ways of dogs. He's challenged.
But he's getting training starting tomorrow.
Yes. We met with the trainer today. He assures me that this is my problem with the dog. Well, maybe I'll explain it on the next break. We seem to have a quorum. Okay. Everyone thinks it's you, Dawn.
It is me. Everybody knows that it's me. But I did discover while I was working with a client recently that I do have one exception to that rule on the whole running into each other thing.
Okay.
Excuse me. The movie The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock. There is a scene in that movie where he is coming out of the shower and I think she's coming out of the shower and he's getting ready to go into the shower, and like he has headphones in and she was like blow drying her hair. I don't remember, but they end up full nude running into each other like this. I support Ryan Reynolds completely naked running into somebody. I support that. I would let you,
especially if it's somebody
with that.
You, right?
Right. Yes, I fully support that. So yes, that is me. That is.
So Dawn, here's what I don't know how we do. Oh, it's whoever gets the most right. Okay, because I was going to say all these people just answered you, so they all got it right. So what do we do now? But it's quantity, not quality. Right?
Yes. Yes. How well do you know Evident Ink is what we're playing here. And then we have the bonus round questions that are harder. So, are
they harder? Really? Okay.
I don't know.
We just put them in a different section.
Yeah, they're just under a different bullet point. That's all. Okay, next one. Who has been bitten by a lion? And like a real lion, not like a pretend lion.
Can you be bitten by a pretend lion?
Well, I mean, like, not like, oh, it was a stuffed lion and somebody came up and went roar and pretended it's a real lion.
Yes. Now everyone's just voting that everyone gets a mug. You still have to vote.
You get a mug. And Terry has us creating a new podcast called Dawn Writes a Ryan Reynolds Steamy Romance.
Oh, if we could get Ryan Reynolds to support it, that would be awesome.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
He's wry. He has a wry sense of humor.
I would write whatever Ryan Reynolds wanted me to. I will just lay that out there right now.
I haven't gotten a lot of input from Ryan on what he thinks about what we do, but
I know.
I'll let you know if I hear from him.
Yeah, if you hear from him, let me know.
I sure will.
Okay, so who got bit by a lion? If that's what we're talking about. We have a couple of votes for you. Terry thinks it was me.
Well, so while we wait for the majority, Charlie Taco is getting some training starting tomorrow. We met with our new trainer today, and he assured me that Charlie is not an insurmountable challenge and that the day will come where I can walk him without him pulling my arm out of the socket or killing me, which right now is the concern because this dog will be a year old in about a week, and he weighs 80 pounds now, Dawn. He's just this giant mass of muscle, and he's crazy. So we're working on it. Lauren is going to help me.
Nice. Very nice.
Yes. We'll see.
Okay, so who got bit by a lion?
I did. I have the scar to prove it. Yeah, it was just a baby lion, but it was still a lion, and I did survive. So that's a good thing. It was just I don't think it won't show on the podcast, so I won't even try. But yes, I went to South Africa 2-3 years ago for my day job, and we went to this. I think this would be considered inhumane here in the States. And I was like, maybe we shouldn't go there because maybe like this isn't a good thing. But you could go to this place where you could pet baby lions. They take them away from their moms and put them like in this little enclosure together. So we stepped in, and it's just me and my coworker and like 10 baby lions. And they were anywhere from like 2 months to, I think they said by 8 months they have to take them out because they're like big enough to kill people. But they're like all lounging on a rock, and the guys were like, "Oh yeah, just go on in." And we're like, but those are lions." And they're like, "Oh, they're just small. Yeah, just don't pet their." What did he tell us? Don't pet their tails, their feet, or their ears. They don't like that. We were like, "Oh, okay." So they hang up our bags for us, and then they just tell us to go. And so we like kind of creep in, and we got to like they climbed on our laps, and it was really cool until one of them got very playful and he clamped down on my arm, and I was trying to get the guys like, hey, so yeah, he, ow. And so you know how your dog, you just pry his little jaws off of, that's what I did with the lion. And there was blood. I was a little worried, mostly about infection. It all worked out. Yeah. So there's that. Okay. Next question. Whose romance started with a hammer? You told this story at least twice for sure. So I feel like this is an easy one.
Yes, it should be. It has definitely been present on the podcast.
We always call it a podcast, to be honest. I know people listen to that, but I have no idea what the quality might be like as a podcast, because we do this really as a live video, which I think is more interactive.
A stream? What are we?
I don't know. What are we? Are we a show? I don't know. My kids call it my show.
Yes,
we're a show.
Very much. We're a show, and this is our 50th episode. So yes, we are a show.
We've been renewed several times by ourselves.
It's amazing how the producers are so excited.
The network really likes
us. Yes, as they should.
We get a lot of support from our writers because that's us. A lot of people think it's you.
Yes, it's that one. That one's an easy one. We're infotainment. I like that, Jenny. I like that. But yes, it was me. My husband gave me a hammer, and
the rest is history.
25 years later, he's still here. So, and I've never used the hammer on him. So I think that shows that we have a strong marriage. I'm just.
Do you still have the hammer?
Yes.
Was it a pink hammer by chance?
No.
I think that says something about him that he didn't give you a pink hammer because.
Well, he bought it at like an Ace Hardware or something. But he's like, I wanted to get this hammer, but they all looked like old and worn out. And so he like sanded it and made it look nice and then stuck a red bow on it.
That's a lot of effort to put into an Ace Hardware hammer. Also, I don't understand why they all looked old. What does that mean? What?
They all look like they had been used, and he wanted it to be clear that he didn't just like, dig this out of the back
of his truck.
Old
hammer. Yeah. Yes. Well, that was kind. Okay. Who deletes every use of, I couldn't help but, when she finds it in a manuscript? Is it me or is it Dawn?
Who indeed?
Indeed. So is your high schooler almost done with school? When do you guys end school in Texas?
He actually gets done with school May 21st, and then he graduates on May 30th.
Wow. So he's on the same schedule as our closing for our house. We close on May 21st, but we don't actually take the house till the 28th.
That's exciting.
Jenny, inappropriate humor. Do you see that, Dawn?
I do see that. And I totally think Jenny and I could be friends.
You could be. Jenny's great.
Yes. I will tell him that as soon as we're off this. I'm going to be like, hey, that hammer thing you're so proud of?
So it's got a darker side. Yes, my kids get out in May also, which is so weird because everywhere I've ever lived before Colorado, it was like middle of June and even the end of June.
Yeah, we get out. There's a couple of years where they went until June, but now we start really early in August, so they get out early. Mm-hmm. But he's already done. I mean, senioritis has kicked in so hard.
Excuse me for just 1 second. I am live on the internet. What is it that you need?
How long do I put the casserole in the microwave for?
Oh, like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes? It's not a casserole, by the way, but okay. It's in a casserole. That's correct. Yes. Sorry.
So,
thank you.
Amanda and Jenny and Terry, who is recusing
himself. That's correct. Yes.
Because I just gave him an edit last week. I'll say that it's me, and yes, I'm the one.
Did Terry have? I couldn't help but. I thought that was just me.
No, it spreads. It's contagious. It's rampant.
it's like a pandemic.
I allow one. I'll let you have one, like per character, but other than that, no. Okay.
I think it was the first Mr. Matchbook where nobody could help but do anything. It was awful.
Right. But it's fixed now. It's absolutely fixed.
Sure.
Okay. So, who enjoys tasteful taxidermy?
Who doesn't enjoy tasteful taxidermy is what I want to know.
And for anyone who doesn't normally follow our show, that's going to be a really weird question right there. That's going to be. I thought this show was about writing. Why are they talking about taxidermy?
Writing and taxidermy are closely related. Most people don't know that.
It's a very little known fact. Very little.
Yeah. It's a more enigmatic writing fact, I guess.
So, yeah.
I agree, Kate. It's Dawn.
Absolutely. It is not Dawn. It is Nancy.
It's not Dawn.
No. I mean,
It's
I have
always
nothing against taxidermy. For those of you out there who are into that kind of thing, you do you. But Nancy
What do
includes
you
it
mean
in her
that
book.
kind of thing? You make it sound like it's something skeevy. It's just taxidermy. There's nothing wrong with
It's a
it.
kangaroo, right? In your book.
There's a few animals.
Okay.
It's not just a kangaroo. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
I am going to shuffle these around a bit, Dawn. Just
Okay.
FYI, the audience will not know. But who groped Nora Roberts' butt when they met her in person at her bookstore in Boonesboro, Maryland? We've
Well, and we
both
should
been there, just to
I was gonna
clarify.
say,
Yes.
Yes, we should clarify. Both of us have met Nora Roberts. Both of us have been at the bookstore. She's
Yes, it is
awesome.
in Maryland, but it was nowhere near where I lived in Maryland. So it was,
Right.
I didn't have to take a plane to go there like Dawn did, but
In January, just let me throw that out there.
Dawn doesn't like snow. So
No.
going to Northern Maryland in January was, and Northern Maryland is like Pennsylvania because it's actually north of DC. So that was really a commitment.
Experience. It was an experience. But Nora Roberts is amazing, even in person. She is amazing. So, but one of us got to know her a little bit better than the other one did.
People seem to think it was me.
Yes, I'm seeing that.
Yeah, it was me. It was an accident.
Definitely Nancy. It was not me.
So I was signing at her store. I was a little nervous. It's Nora Roberts. And she like gets in the middle. There's like 6 authors there. She gets in the middle and she's like, let's have a picture. And so like we all, do the arm thing. And she's small. She's a small lady and she's right next to me. And I put my arm and it just kind of slid. And I didn't even really realize where my hand was. And then she looked at me and was like, is your hand on my butt? And I was like, oh, it is. I'm sorry. And they were taking the pictures the whole time. So I'm like, yeah, but it makes a
Are
good
you
story.
allowed
It's
back
kind of like the line.
now?
It hasn't been explicitly stated that I'm not, but I think I was supposed to go for a signing. I mean, prior to the pandemic becoming a thing and stuff, the May that we moved and I was like, oh, you know what, or I think it was July maybe. And I was like, we're moving. And they're like, it's okay. There's a pandemic. And so it was probably the whole pandemic may just be an excuse to keep me from going back to the store.
I've actually got your picture in the back room. It's my butt groper.
Delancey Stewart, not welcome here. I don't know.
Okay, so shuffling a little bit too. Who was offered booze by a stranger on a ski lift?
Doesn't that happen all the time to everybody?
I mean, right? I mean,
I thought that was
Okay,
a common
hold on.
occurrence.
okay, while
Amanda
we're pausing
says-
for this one, yes.
I know you can't read. You're like squinting at the screen. I accidentally felt up Sherilyn Kenyon's boob in a similar situation. Okay, but that's like the front parts. How do you do that by accident? I don't know.
Jenny says, I think restraining orders have an expiration date. Double check your copy.
Ooh, good point. Everyone seems confident that was me. Yes, okay, it was me.
Yes.
And that has nothing to do with me. That was the weird guy. Not my fault.
I will say, you were offered booze on a ski lift, and I was offered cocaine in New York. So, like, just by a random person. Yes. My friend and I were walking to dinner, and there was a guy leaning against a wall who looked like, normal everyday person. And as we walked by, he was like, cocaine ladies, cocaine ladies.
Oh, he was selling it, not just like offering it. Like, here,
Right, yes.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm like, it's expensive. So I'd be surprised someone would be willing to just shell it out, Not
we
that I would
got
know.
like 5 steps past him, and I turned around and looked at my friend. I was like, did he? And she's like, offer us cocaine? Yes, he did. Keep walking. Don't turn around. I'm like, but I have so many questions.
How much?
She's like, I don't want to explain how you got arrested by an undercover police officer in New York. Keep walking. So
yes, don't ask your questions.
they don't let me have any fun. Okay, you pick one to read now.
All right. Let's see. Who uses the book The Dry as an example at every possible opportunity? Because we often do choose books to use as examples of things that are done well or not done well.
And now we wait.
Now we wait. Do, 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 do. You want me to play the music?
No, just sing the music. That's fine. Just keep singing. It's good.
No, that's not a good idea. So the kid did ask me how long he should put the thing in the microwave for, and then he put the thing in the microwave. Now it's just beeping because he has gone away and nobody will ever take the thing out of the microwave. So not only did I make a dinner no one's going to eat because I knew we were going to be doing this at dinner time, but they will have reheated it and then left it in the microwave until it's inedible. So yay. Everyone thinks that's you, Dawn. You would eat the curry? It's a delicious Thai chicken curry over cilantro rice. I don't know why they're not.
That actually does sound really good. Yes, it is me. I'm a big fan of The Dry. I'm proud of that. I don't care.
It is Dawn. All right.
Okay, what haven't we done? Let me see. Oh, okay, we just have like 2 left. Okay, first of all, who actually lived in New York? I mean, I got offered cocaine there, but that doesn't mean I was living there. I was actually there for RWA when that happened.
Well, so you just kind of gave away the answer, don't you think?
Well, no, I said I wasn't living there then when I got offered cocaine. I could have been living there at another time.
Oh, well, right. So could I have? Yes.
Yes.
So maybe it was me that gave away the answer.
This is why we talk about writing and story and we don't host a game show. This is
why we don't have a game show. Yes. Okay. It was me. Fine.
Yes, it was absolutely Nancy.
Which one of us does not enjoy horror? Movies, books, shows, whatever. Horror. That reminds me of, I don't know if you ever watched 30 Rock with Tina Fey. So the blonde lady, I cannot remember the actress's name, but she's hilarious. Her name was Jenna on the show.
Yeah.
Anyway, why are you asking me if I want to disconnect from my internet connection? Because no, I don't. Hang on a second. Evidently my battery's low. Anyway, so Jenna, who was on the show, was like a wannabe serious actress. And so she got in this big movie, hang on, that was called The Rural Juror. And so there was always a bunch of jokes about how it was impossible to pronounce The Rural Juror. And something that you just said made me launch into that story.
I don't know, but I know that with my accent,
sorry, okay,
which
there was a reason for that.
I only have an accent when I leave Texas. In Texas, I don't have an accent, but I do know that saying the word horror is hard.
That was it, horror. Yes, because it's like the rural horror.
Yes. Okay, so they're divided on this one. On if this is me or you.
I see. Well, it's also hard to tell who's answering which question. The way we should have put like a divider or something, some kind of a marker. Because
when you go back through and count these, we'll have to.
Well, so I see Brooke. I think Brooke starts the answer to this question because Kate said Nancy, I think, to the last one, because then she said Nancy again to this one. Brooke said Nancy. No, but then Brooke says Dawn. Okay, so I think Kate starts this.
Kate starts this one.
Brooke says Dawn. Amanda says Dawn. Jenny and Jennifer say Nancy. So more people say me, but you're all wrong because it's Dawn.
Yeah, it's me. I am the big Freddy cat. I do not do anything scary.
You probably do scary stuff. Maybe your family could report on that.
I mean,
maybe you just don't realize how scary some of the things you do are.
Well, yes. Okay. Horror, Dawn. So yes.
Yes.
Okay, and then our last question. That's the tiebreaker, I guess, is who is terrified of birds?
That's a hard one.
That is a hard one.
Yeah. Because, well, I won't add any perspective just yet.
I'm going to give away the answer again.
I'll just keep drinking.
Okay. Mine is empty, by the way.
That happens when you drink it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had these before? These are super tasty. There it is. Press.
I can't tell what it is.
It's called Press. It's one of those like hard seltzer thingies.
Mm.
For a while, I was like, this is awesome. We should drink these because it's like having half the alcohol. And then my husband pointed out that they're actually just like drinking beer because they have the same amount of alcohol as beer. So I was feeling all high and mighty, like I'd found some alcohol.
And you didn't.
Altruistic alcohol solution. And no, evidently I'm just drinking beer. But it has fewer calories, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay, so here are the answers on the bird. We have Jennifer says Dawn, Brooke says birds, Dawn, Kate says Dawn is scared of birds, Jenny says Nancy, and then Amanda says, I want to say Dawn, but Dawn has a bird, still Dawn.
Yeah, if you're truly afraid of birds, would you have one living in your house? I don't know.
I will clarify, the bird is my daughter's. And
you mentioned that. You also mentioned that she didn't take it to school, and you were like, okay.
Yeah, she didn't take it to school, but my husband or my son take care of it. I do nothing with that bird. Absolutely nothing. And so yeah. Here's the thing about this one. It was
you're all right.
Yeah, you're all
we
right.
both hate birds.
Birds are not an Evident Inc. thing.
So when I worked at this company, not this company, but a company where we had like a little office out in a business park, there was this flock of geese that frequented the area. And they would, I swear to you, they would congregate around the door, like right at the time I needed to leave. And they would wait for me. And as I was coming out, they would attack. They were like not, it wasn't just like, oh, Nancy's afraid of birds, but that's stupid. It was like Nancy's afraid of birds because birds attack her.
Yes. Yes.
That's why, Jennifer. That is
yes. Why. And I had a terrible ostrich experience as a child that just ostriches are bad. They're bad little creatures. They look like they've been made out of spare parts. That's problem number one I have.
Well, they're like dinosaurs. They're the closest thing to dinosaurs that we have, right? Or is that chickens? I don't know. I don't like chickens either.
I don't know.
Yeah, people always talk about how great it would be to have like a chicken coop in the backyard, and that would be horrible. Who would get terrible. The eggs? Because not me.
Yeah. No. No. When my husband and I were first married, we went to one of those like outdoor drive-through park things. And
they don't do that anymore, I don't think. But okay.
With the animals?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have two within an hour.
Where you can still drive your own car through them?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
That was like a 1970s thing.
No, they still have those. And so we were driving and we come around because you're on this little path, and we come around this corner and there's 3 ostriches that are bigger than our truck headed towards us, looking like they're about to, drop an album from a boy band or something, because they're all like strolling forward. And I just looked at my husband and I'm like, okay, there's something I've never told you and I'm going to tell you right now. And he's like, what? And I was like, I am terrified of ostriches. And he's like, hee. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Roll up the windows right now.
Drop the pedal.
I was like, just mow them down. It's fine. So that one was a trick question.
Yes. Okay. Mine is not specific to ostriches. I don't like pigeons. I'm not a fan of seagulls. As Jenny points out, they team up for aerial and land attacks. I desperately hate and kind of fear geese. I'm not as worried about bluebirds and that sort of thing, but
yes, there was a terrible seagull incident that ended with me literally in the floorboard of the car crying because they were attacking. And I already had children at that point. I had children in the back seat that were like,
no, they will drive you to, it doesn't matter how old you are. Birds are terrifying. I was standing on the steps of some giant church in New York City waiting to meet a friend. And we had only chosen this church because it was kind of like a landmark. It'd be easy to find each other. And she was coming from the north and I was coming from the south. So we're like, okay, we'll just meet on the stairs. So what I did not know is that the stairs are the territory of a giant flock of pigeons who are evidently, I don't know if they're like a gang or it was kind of like West Side Story though. Like I climbed up the stairs and I didn't realize I was on their turf and it was bad. And they literally kind of, they puff up their chests and start coming closer and pecking around. And I'm like, oh, they're birds. This is before I knew about birds. And then they like took to the air, and I swear they formed like a bird tornado, and they
I
spiraled
would not
down
be here to tell
around
this
me.
story now. I would be
There
dead
was
on
poop on my clothing, in my hair. They attacked me like, and in a way that was intended to humiliate.
Yes, they're evil. They're very evil.
They are. Anyway.
Okay, so we have 5 quick bonus round questions. So question number 1. Where did Dawn and Nancy meet?
Okay,
yes, these are fill in the blank. Where did Dawn and Nancy meet?
So are these tiebreakers, or does anyone who gets the right answer get a cup, or what are we doing here? I have a lot of cups
for the last one. Yeah.
Well, if you can be patient about me actually getting them in the mail, then anyone who answers one of these correctly will win a cup. How's that?
Yes, we will go with that.
So
where did Dawn and Nancy meet?
Sorry, no more singing. Okay. Oh, Amanda's got it. RWA.
Nice.
She was first, I guess. So is that how we're going to do it? Because now Jennifer's got it right too. And Jennifer was more specific. So
I think we need to add it to the whole, like, whoever gets how many right. We'll figure that out afterwards. We'll announce the winners after we figured out the rules.
Prison.
Close. It was a bar. I was expecting somebody to say bar.
Nothing like prison. It's like the opposite of prison. A bar is like.
No, I've never been to prison.
Well, I don't really know either, but I've watched Orange is the New Black, and there's no bars.
Yeah.
Well, there's a different kind of bar.
Yes, exactly. So
I don't know what to do.
We'll figure it out. We'll work it out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah. So next question.
What book does Nancy love but Dawn hates? We talk about it all the time. Anytime I have the opportunity to use a book as an example, I whip this book off my shelf because I have a signed copy. Dawn just rolls her eyes and looks sad and disappointed.
You just have to accept your friends for who they are. And sometimes they have different tastes than you, and that's okay. But you just have to accept that. Okay, yes, Brooke, but that's not the answer we're looking for. Because no, I do not own a Chicago manual. Yes, it's a fiction book.
Chicago manual style.
I mean,
okay, she's right though. I do always whip that one off the shelf too to show you. So,
and I don't have an opinion on that because I've never actually looked at one. So,
it's not Pride and Prejudice. Yeah, I didn't get that one signed.
That would be quite a trick.
I signed it
myself. That would be quite a trick.
Nancy, you are the best writer I have ever met. I don't know why you are not more famous.
Even the ones I've met in the afterlife since you were born. I'm surprised you're having trouble with this.
50 Shades.
50 Shades.
Have you met me? No, you haven't.
No.
I do write romance. I don't write that kind of romance. It's not a romance book, FYI. It's not.
No, Kate, I actually was a huge Twilight fan. I read all of the books, I've seen all the movies, and I am firmly and always Team Jacob.
This is a hard question. I mean, you have to have really been studying the Evident Ink story strategy lives to be able to get this one.
Okay, so I think we need to let him off the hook for this one. Do you want to whip it off your shelf?
Yeah, let me just
show you. Have it ready, don't you?
It's right here. It's the first book on my signed bookshelf. It's We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. Would you like to see the inscription?
Yes, of course.
Of course it was. It says to Delancey. See? So when I'm like 80 and I have grandkids and stuff, they'll be like, this isn't signed to you. This is signed to someone named Delancey. And then I'll have to explain all the things.
That's when you just are like, yes, that was my twin. And then just go on with your life. You don't explain anything else there.
Or that was my New York stripper name. Because Dawn initially had a question that said, who lived in New York City and worked as a dancer?
Okay, in my defense, Nancy was a dancer. She just didn't work as a dancer.
A dancer in New York City, which I feel like has different connotations.
But you were like a ballet dancer, right?
I was like one in that I was one. Yes.
Okay. See, yes, I'm not completely
But
crazy.
I mean, in a very small portion of my early life until I went to college. So until I was 18. And at one point I did get paid in point shoes, which they referred to as semi-professional. I was like, I don't think that counts. But okay. What word did Dawn forbid Nancy from using more than once in any future books?
Yes, and this is another one you had to really be paying attention to our story strategy archives.
It was a word that I used a lot. Dawn, as you know, does my developmental editing. So I write a book, I send it to her, and she finds all the silly things that I have done and all the words I've overused and all the phrases that I'm not allowed to use anymore. And this was one of those words, and it was in a Christmas book. I don't know if that's helpful or not. I feel like it should be, because it's kind of it's not a Christmassy word, but it's a word you would use to describe what you do with things at Christmas time.
I don't think I've ever heard it used. Moist, yes, I would.
Oh gosh, really? It's a very original guess, but that's not correct.
Moist. I feel like I don't think I've ever seen this word used to describe anything that wasn't Christmas. I mean, I guess you could by definition.
Or some sort of a festival, you could use this word a lot. Is that helpful?
It is to me. I mean,
it's like decorate, but it's not decorate, Jenny. It's a fancy way of saying something was decorated. I'll give you a few more minutes for synonyms.
Yes, somebody's totally on dictionary.com right now looking for synonyms.
It's a synonym, I think, for decorate. Kind of. Yeah, it should be.
Or decorated.
Yes. Oh, she got it.
Got it. Festoon. Yes.
Yes. When I wrote my Christmas book in the Single Tree series, Shaking the Sleigh, I don't know why, but that word was stuck in my head and everything was festooned with red and gold and who knows what. But Dawn was like, please stop using the word festooned. Please.
It's everywhere in here. I'm sorry, but it is. Yes.
You cannot use it 30 times in one book. You can't.
Okay, so what are Nancy's other identities? Because she has at least 3
this one confused me for a minute because I was like, there's only 2. There is a third one. Yeah.
Yes.
There's probably more.
I was going to say, I think there's actually 4.
One of them is not in use. Well, I know what you're talking about. There's actually 5, but one of them doesn't count.
So name some of Nancy's other identities.
No names, actual names, Kate. I was a personal trainer. You're right. I was clearly not practicing anymore, but at one time.
Yeah, we should rephrase that. Nancy has 5 other names other than Nancy.
Yeah. Oh, yes. See, Jenny knows. Okay, Lulu West, Delancey Stewart, yes. DL Stewart is the one I don't use anymore. That was my sweet and clean name, and it turns out I'm not sweet or clean, so we don't use that one anymore.
Well,
so there's one more. Yeah. But honestly, I don't use it really either, and it wasn't one that I talked about, although I didn't talk about DL either. So if you know DL, you should know the other one, I feel like.
And you have books out under
all of the above.
Not DL.
Not DL anymore. But I do have books under, I have book under Lulu, lots under Delancey, and there's one more name. It was Urban Fantasy that I wrote under this pen name. Hint, it ends in Stewart. Starts with a D. If Kelly was here, she would know.
Oh, she would absolutely know.
Because poor Kelly gets dragged through every... Kelly, I need a new cover. I'm doing something ridiculous. Here, help me.
For those of you who do not know, Kelly is Nancy's personal assistant.
Well, so I guess that's...
exactly is her title.
Jane of all trades, the better half of my brain, the smarter part of my personality. Kelly is like, she's really good at all the things that I am not very good at. So we're like a perfect symbiotic relationship.
So I don't think anybody's going to get the last one.
Delia Stewart. Oh, she got Delilah. That was very close. Yeah.
That's close.
I
That's
think
close.
you went and looked it up. That was enough time to go to Amazon.
Right? Okay, and this one you cannot look up, but you should know. And that is, what are the names of the Evident Ink family dogs?
How many are there?
2.
The
Yours and
dogs.
mine.
I have
Yes.
one. Dawn
You
has
have one
one.
and I have one. We're not
And
counting
then
the
you
bird.
get
The bird's name's
extra
Dot.
point.
We don't care about him.
Extra points for the full name of mine, who is standing outside and crying like a pathetic little baby right now.
Aww. Mine does not have a full name.
Mine actually has, is it 4 names? But that's because my kids fight about who gets to name things. And so we have to accept both their names. Like my parents' dog, they thought it would be fun to have their grandkids name him when they got a new puppy about 8 years ago. So my kids were like 3 and 5. So the dog's name is Red Ranger Poop Butt because they were very into Power Rangers. And my littlest guy only knew Poop Butt as like a funny thing to say. There we go. Okay. They're both in there. Penny and Charlie Taco.
Penny and Charlie Taco. Yes.
Yes.
Penny just gets called Penny Puppy. She doesn't have an official name.
Well, Charlie just gets called Charlie most of the time. His official name is Monsignor Charlie Taco McDuffin or something. I don't remember the last part. But
I did not realize that he was a Monsignor.
I didn't either. I don't really know why. But
so that is all of our trivia. It is. We will figure out who answered the best and all of that.
We'll be looking out for addresses because otherwise I'm just going to be having all of these myself with your names on them and you'll never get them.
Yes. And then we were going to have question and answer. If y'all have any questions, if anybody wants to know anything.
I was going to ask that. We didn't have questions ahead of time or anything. So
no, nobody asked any questions earlier. I checked all the social media.
Story strategy questions. That's probably a good thing. It's getting late anyway.
A little bit, yeah.
All right. Well, so where are we? Is May 6th already next week? It is.
Yes. We're to May.
Okay, then, but Tamara Lush is probably interested in the details of her engagement here with us too, because I told her those would be forthcoming. So most likely, Tamara Lush will be joining us next week.
And next week we will be back at our normal time.
Yes.
Next week this was a special late night edition of Story Strategy. We're not doing this all the time.
But so because Kindle has just launched Kindle Vella, which is serialized fiction on the Kindle platform, and because Radish exists and there's Kiss and a few other serialized apps that you can get, we're going to have Tamara Lush come talk about serialized fiction and how you might adapt your writing to fit with serialized fiction, what kinds of readers go there versus read full-length novels, that kind of stuff, because she's been really successful over at Radish, and I'm willing to bet she's probably planning Vella releases as well. And then May 13th.
We're talking indie versus traditional publishing. We're talking about, the different avenues of how you could get things published, what this process is for each kind, all that
kinds of things you need to be thinking about kind of ahead of time, depending on which avenue you plan to pursue. And then the last week in May, the 20th, is that the last one? Wouldn't there be a 27th also?
We are not doing the 27th because you are closing on a house the next day.
Oh, we are. That's correct.
And yes. I will be frantically trying to get my house together as my son is graduating that weekend. So the last one we're doing is May 20th, which will be Delancey Stewart.
And my friend Marika. And we're going to talk about co-writing and collaboration and how that works and how it doesn't work and what's a good idea and what's not a good idea based on our extremely limited experience of having written 2 books together so far. But we've talked to
They're good books and they're fun books, and that's what's important.
I'll go with fun. They're fun. Yeah.
They're fun.
They're good.
And then we will be taking a summer hiatus because you're moving, I'm moving, I have a kid graduating. There's just a lot going on. So we are taking July, the last week in May, June and July off. And then hopefully we will both be in all new places, all settled in and ready to get back to this in August.
Yes. So it will be a summer off and then we'll be right back into it, hopefully with new courses and other new stuff going on. So Join us next week, and we will see you then. This has been super fun, guys, and we'll be in touch about the beautiful stainless steel Evident Ink tumblers.
Yes. And remember, if you weren't here to win one of the beautiful stainless steel Evident Ink tumblers, you can still win a coupon code for a free class if you pop into the comments and say hi to us, and we get some idea of who actually listens to us.
Yes, please just raise your hand and say hey. Okay, guys, have a great night, and we will see you again next week. Bye, Dawn.
Bye.